This video is a bit unexpected. It's pretty much in reply to a lot of comments on a post I made on Instagram, which comes from the longer form videos that you guys see here, in which I talked about people being really in their feelings about coveted retros and limited pairs from back in the day, re-releasing, whether it's the Wu-Tang Dunk, the Undefeated 4, and yes, that plays to the heart, the nostalgia of those who are Gen Z or millennials, okay? I myself, I'm a millennial, so I understand that is the target demographic for Nike and Jordan when they're dropping these pairs, and for everything that's slated to drop truthfully in 2025, outside of collabs, which we don't know a whole lot about those, but we certainly have seen all of the retros that will drop. The replies to that clip on Instagram. One, if you guys follow me at Talkside with that TJ, that's awesome. I appreciate it. The replies on there, we're gonna go through them because I am just curious why people believe that Nike doesn't need to do anything to try and gain the loyalty or the trust or the attention or the interest of the younger generations. Like, I know main character syndrome is something so many suffer from in today's age with social media. I get it. We all feel that maybe we are the most important person. We should be the focus and the target audience for so many things. One, everything that a brand puts out, they're not necessarily targeting you. They're just not, and that's okay. But for a brand such as Nike, I think there's something being missed here a little bit, and it's based on something very logical, okay? We all die. There's a reason there's the joke, you have death and taxes, and then we usually add on something else that's funny, right? Because those are two constants. You're gonna need to pay taxes or you're going to jail, and you're gonna die. Like, that's going to happen. So I am curious for Gen Z or Gen X, for Gen X and for millennials, okay? Do you intend for your loved ones that are here once you're gone? Maybe, I don't know, it could be just whoever's alive, kids, grandkids, whomever. Do you intend for them to go buy the same retros and Nikes that are dropping and place them at your gravesite? I'm curious because that seems to be the only answer in which that generation would continue to just, I don't know, sustain, right? What you guys believe is like them not having anything to worry about. Like, at some point, this generation of nostalgia will no longer be here. We're all going to die. We will not be around forever. Nor would I want to. Have you seen this world right now? Nor would I want to. So I'm just curious, like, why is it that you think they don't need to ever worry about it? This is how I liken it, okay? Yes, Nike, they are 100% in, first place. They hold the highest market share for footwear and sneakers. You act as if I think that's just going to disappear immediately. It's not what's going to happen. It's kind of funny because you all said that Adidas would be bankrupt. Yeah, they're doing just fine. So, not that I'm thinking they're just going to fall off the face of the earth, but there should be concern because you are losing market share. Because it is difficult to figure out how to tap in with this younger generation. And I'm not beyond upset at Gen Z being a little, aloof. You actually got to do some work. It's like peeling back an onion. I'm not mad at them about that in any way. I think we have to fight not being that cantankerous older generation when we look at the next younger one, because I see a lot of us doing that just because they're not into the things maybe that we're into, and they just don't have that same connection with a lot of retros and sneakers you have. That's okay. It really is. It's okay. So I'm not mad at them about that, but I liken it to, if you, just as a person, right, health-wise, the time for you to try and finally want to take action is not when you're being rushed to the hospital to be in a diabetic coma. It's not when you've actually had the heart attack, okay? It's prior to that. It's all of the different times that you've gone to your primary care physician, they pulled your blood work, and they're like, you know what? I am concerned about your cholesterol. I am concerned about your sugar. I am concerned. And steps should be taken now. Not years from now, but right now. So that you are in a better position as time goes on, okay? So I wouldn't want Nike to wait and then they are scrambling to try and figure out how to get X, Y, and Z done, especially because in footwear, you have to work and think like 2-3 years ahead. So it's not easy. You're forecasting and you're hoping what you forecast makes sense. But really quick, because these are some of the comments. One person said, them kids broke right now. We ain't. Continue the death of resale. Which, yes, Nike is certainly combating resale. My answer, if other brands are seeing a surge in sales, that definitely says they aren't broke. They just see value in other brands. Other brands are doing well. They're doing better than they ever have. Yeah, some of it is going to be based on some trends. We've all grown up on trends. We just have. Like, people are offended that Asics may be the shoe, or it may be the brand, or it may be the thing for Gen Z. Why is that so offensive to you? Like, let them go have it. If you don't want to fight anyone for these retros, you should be glad that they're into Asics. I said, that's okay. Nike and Jordan aren't paying consumers to buy their shoes. They're not paying you. Every generation consumer will gravitate to their own taste. It's just not Nike as much now for the younger kids. It's not. And people are so upset about that. I'm just not, okay? I'm just not. Another one said, Gen Z and Alpha have less buying power right now, in my opinion, so connecting with them isn't as urgent yet. Not yet. But it's certainly gonna be in enough time. So I'm just saying, don't wait. Like, maybe start to try to figure things out now. Like, if you're looking at millennials, okay, once you hit 40, I would hope that like some switch flips, just because you probably have amassed as much as you could ever, way more than you need, but certainly more than you could possibly want. And then hopefully you have switched to kind of rotating pairs out, right? Getting rid of some older ones if you want to continue to bring newer ones in. I myself am just not interested in buying at a high cadence of what I did before. Like, things change, right? As you age, things change for a lot of us. So at some point, yes, you're going to have a lot of millennials that are no longer buying 40 damn pairs of shoes in a year, because a lot of you are doing that, okay? That's going to change at some point. So you're not going to be doing that. So the brands are going to need to account for that somehow. They're also the trendiest generation, so I could see how it'd be tough to connect with the constant change and temperament of these youngins who in large part still ask parents for money. They're broke but have influence, though. I agree. They can still influence quite a bit, and we're seeing that. A lot of these kids, they're still in school, they don't have money. That's not saying that they're not affecting these trends, though, because they're in Asics and mom and dad are buying them that. And so I said, things take time. So the time to try and earn their trust isn't when they're fully established in their income and have other priorities, which I wish more millennials also focused on at their big ages. I do, because what I would love more than anything is for Gen Z to get it right where millennials got it wrong, and not taking out as much student loan debt. Thank God I'm student loan debt free now. Choosing to invest in their 401ks and IRAs and Roth IRAs immediately, learning to save for future them, immediately, to not waste their 20s and waste part of their 30s. I want them to be better than us. I really do. And if them being better than us, if it's also understanding the value in a shoe that makes more sense to me is one that's $95 and it's comfortable and it's versatile, and I'm possibly not fighting anyone all the time in a raffle for it. Yes, I love that. I applaud them for that. Great job, young people. You're doing better than a lot of us. And then someone else said they're focusing on connecting with millennials and Gen X with bringing back those nostalgic pairs because we're the only ones with the money to buy their product. Connect with the younger generation that's broke isn't a smart move. There's a reason Gen Z flaunt Sambas and $80 ASIC GRs. Again, I don't understand why we feel the need to shame somebody making the decision to buy what they like. Why are you all offended that people would prefer to buy a shoe that isn't $220 some for mediocre quality? Why does that offend you? Somebody being in a timeless Samba, first off, it is timeless because that same Samba has been around longer than these retros that you fall all over as if you are being paid by the brand. Unless you are invested in them, you are not. Unless you work with them, you don't. Like, the loyalty should be whatever. Why does it bother you all so much that kids would rather be in Asics, be in Sambas? Like, what personal slight is it against you? Answer that, especially as a grown adult, because we're kind of saying our ages now, because clearly you're identifying yourself as Gen X or millennial. So why does it bother you so much at your big age that these kids are not interested in the same things that you're interested in? I applaud them because, quite frankly, they're going to retain more of their income by not spending it on shoes that are so insanely expensive, especially with cost of living continuing to go up. they're finding value in something that's only $95 to $100. The problem is what? Exactly. Nothing for me. Could possibly be a problem for Nike, though. I said, okay, so when these older generations stop spending like that, as I would hope you would slow down at some point, or you're also going to die. Then what? This is back to my previous point. If they've never once gained the loyalty nor interest of the next generation, are you asking relatives to buy pairs to drop off at the graveside as a Gen X or millennial? Also, I say that facetiously. I really do, with so much sarcasm. I wouldn't put it past some of you. Because some of you would actually choose to live on like rice and ramen and just beans or something. You would choose to live on like poverty type meals, not by force, but by choice, because you would rather have a brand new Retro or 5. If the kids have more sense than that, bravo. I love it for them. But I would also hope that Nike understands, forecast, and look ahead. At some point, these millennials we're going to die. Gen X, millennials, we will die. Okay? So you're going to need to tap in with this younger generation. There's a reason you want to try to get kids in when they're really, really young, and you keep them in, okay? You try to establish this brand loyalty. And do I have the answers? I don't. I don't even want to necessarily have the answers, because that's not a field that I work in. I am just a consumer who's been in it for some time, definitely love it, passionate about sneakers. That will always be the case, but the math is not mathing with the logic of a lot of you. That's all I got. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Put your comments below. This will definitely be posted on Instagram, so you can follow me there. As always, act your age, not your shoe size. Peace.